This is the D period debate on immigration, English B. Okay, let's begin. So we'll go ahead and let's start right off with person 1. We'll have to move pretty quick. Okay, person 1.
So, hello. Do you know how many immigrants are in your country? And do you know what are they doing there? Today, our team will try to explain to you why wealthy nations should not relax their laws on immigrations or even make them harder. Our team has some strong arguments, which they will tell you to prove their ideas. As for me, I'm from Russia, and even today we have quite a big problem about immigrants and native citizens. As official statistics says, about 50% of all crimes in Moscow made by immigrants. Also, most of Russians hate immigrants, and lots of immigrants hate Russians. Because of this, in my country, we every day have crimes which based on nation codes. As for me, again, I guess it's because Russian and most of the immigrants have totally different ideas about life, goals, and temperament. And don't forget, the immigrants usually just poor, low-skilled people who want to live better. And here is a high possibility that they will take workplaces which are supposed to belong to native citizens, or even became criminals. That is why we think that wealthy nations should not relax their laws on immigration.
Okay, let's go right on to person 2.
Okay. Imagine you're a leader of a country, and there's a lot of people from abroad who want to live in a country, to be under your supervision. Well, those people, they can help you, of course. They might have some skills. They might know how to work good, but some of them might not, which is the majority of the immigrants. They are poor people looking for a better life, get more money. And so there'll be more poor people coming to your country. You already have your poor people to take care of. So would you focus to take care of the poor people, like of your country, the people who voted you to be their leader, the people who were born there, or just like another country's problem? Since the other country is not taking care of them, they will go to your country so you can help them. I think they should not relax the laws. It should be the way it is now. Like, of course, you should allow immigrants in your country. They're good in some ways, but not too many. And it should not be easy for them to stay in your country, to get the visa and this stuff. They must show their intentions. What are they looking for? Why they are moving to the country? Otherwise, they might become criminals, drug dealers, homeless people, and of course, none of them are bad people. Some of them will try to work even being poor and not having education. So what will happen? They will get the jobs of like the poor people of the country that I just said. You have to work on. So that's why me and my team we think they should not relax the laws on immigration.
Okay, let's move on to person 1 and 2 on the other team.
Side question. So when I finish person 1, can I just say person 2?
Sure. ask questions after Christine's.
Hello everyone, today's group and I will present about Latin immigrants in rich countries such as the United Kingdom and America. First, think about your position. Right now, you're living in another country, Switzerland, which is a rich country. And by coming here, we are all looking for new opportunities. Would you like to be blamed or judged by your decision of coming here? It's very likely for us to judge immigrants because we all think they don't have skills, or we all think, what are they doing here? But we don't know if they help us by being ambitious and looking for a better life. They're always working for the good of the whole country, and they take jobs that native people wouldn't like to take. They help our economy by taking money from the bank, by buying houses, or going to other people's business, and by opening their own business, they always make new jobs. And they still help their home countries because they still have to pay taxes to the government, and they still pay taxes to the government they're living in. That's why we believe that they should make more flexible laws for immigrants to come in each country. Person 2. Didn't you get a new chance? Wouldn't you like a new chance? By coming here, we all change our stereotypes, we all change our minds, and we all change our ways of fear. That's the immigrant too. They change their country looking for a better life, a better job, and a better education for their children. But sometimes they live in countries who cannot afford to keep them back, so they immigrate, but they do not immigrate to make a bad thing for the other country. They immigrate to help it and to help themselves as well. They are hardworking people. There are too many illegal immigrants living abroad right now, and they do not make anything to help because the government doesn't know they are there. They don't know what they are doing, and they don't know how long they're staying. So if something happens, there's nothing the government can do, and they don't have anything to do to the government since they are unknown. But if we make flexible laws to let them in, they will be legal immigrants as we are here, and they will pay the taxes. The government will know they are there, how long they're staying, what they are doing, and this way they can help their economy, as I said in person. That's why we believe that the government should make flexible laws.
Okay, I'm going to be kind of strict with the time, but I'll give 1 minute for team A, this team on my side, to ask questions to team B, and then after 1 minute, we'll switch it. Okay, so we have 1 minute.
Maria Laura, you said that the immigrants like make these jobs that a lot of people don't want to do. Like I don't think that's like something
Yeah, I think actually the native people, they are always looking for better and better categories, but when immigrants come, they can take lower jobs and then they will keep growing and taking better jobs, and they will qualify themselves as the native people as well. So it's not they are only taking the jobs away, they are taking jobs and they are taking the jobs they are not taking and therefore helping the country.
Well, you said that let's make immigrants legal. In Turkey, the Turkish government made 87,000 immigrants from Syria legal, and before they got legal, they started schools around the border.
Sorry, Brooke, I got to put you off. There's 1 minute. Okay, team B, you have 1 minute for those questions.
Can I ask the break?
Okay.
That's what we're talking about, the universal countries that they're not very big. Let's say Turkey.
So what's your question? What kind of question?
I'm answering his question.
Okay. You can ask questions.
And I have for you to tell me people, you said that most immigrants, they are not qualified people, but do you think in your country everyone is like qualified and everyone has a good job already? No. So it doesn't mean that all immigrants, they are
Still need most of the immigrants are not skilled people.
not good, right? They are illegal before, and they don't have passport, the doctor, they don't have the passport, they don't have a job in America.
They're not skilled.
Okay, guys, I gotta stop it there. start thinking about the questions you want to ask in the next session. Let's go into person 3.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you about a truth from the illegal immigrants. Many Chinese people from poor villages who have the lower education and lower wages, and this still into another country such like the United States by ship, and they always get work from like in Chinese restaurants, and their job always is a waiter and dishwasher. And and after they work in American or another country for several years until they get baby, and their baby become the American citizen legally, and but they didn't because they can't afford the baby in America, so they send their baby back to China directly, and wait until they reach the age for go to school, and they take the child back to American, get a free school education by school education. But during that time, they didn't pay any tax for the American government, and they get a lot of welfare from the country. Yeah, that's it.
I'll let you control it, Donna.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay, guys, draw your attention to the screen.
Okay, so like sometimes when immigrants come to a certain country, their goal usually is to find a job and get a good salary and get settled in a certain country, because in their country they've not been getting perfect jobs, so they move into other countries. Also, all immigrants might not get all the jobs because their first priority goes to the native people and then the immigrants. But in some cases, the immigrants get the job first because of a greater portfolio. But the native people sometimes have a good portfolio too, but they don't get a good job because they're not qualified enough. Also, like sometimes when immigrants come to a certain country, they make so much profit that they sometimes start their own companies, and they call people for jobs. And when the females sometimes are used in a wrong way for sexual abuse, and they get into prostitution. Also, there's one example is like in 2010 there were 5.4 billion people born in India. The foreigners born in India. So like some of them are not legal to even stay there, and so they're illegal to stay in India, but they're still working. And also like 7.5 billion in foreign countries living in India, or was like 7.5 million people in 1919. And as it went further in 2000, the rate decreased, which is a good thing, so then the native people can get a better job. Also, like illegal immigration does also have a negative effect. Like similarly, some of the skilled native born workers are faced with no choice of either accepting a lower pay or not even working at all. And as one of the years in 2005, you can see like it says that immigrants take all the new jobs in Britain, which means the native people hardly had any opportunities to get any jobs. And also, one of the examples, like the country-wise from 1980s to 1990s, the changes and the immigration levels. And the last thing I spoke about was in the years when the immigrants were coming into countries. The levels of the immigrants took a higher level, in the 1990s, and then it's still high in 1980s. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to person 3. Okay, my dear.
Hello again. When you speak about immigrants, you speak about people who suffered in their country and have a good will to start over. We're not considered humans if we don't give each other, which are humans, like a chance for living a good life in a new country and giving them a chance. If we worked, immigrants are good people asking for a chance. If we all work together, we could achieve more and embrace the values of being human. Angela, the Mexican girl in Spellbound, the movie that we watched, is a good example of illegal immigrant family that became successful later in life. Her father didn't know any English when he immigrated, and he stayed there for about 30 years in the US. And how did they become successful? He gave his children the best education possible to make them successful in life. And as you know, Angela became one of the top 20, I think, in the movie. And you all know the cleaner in Savoy Yoga. He came here as a refugee. He has a university degree and he has everything. But he became successful in life because like everyone loves him and he's really friendly with other people. And when we give people a better chance to live, we're giving them a new life that they can succeed in. That's it.
Okay, person 4.
Hello guys. We think that wealthy nations, they should relax the law about the immigration because people who don't have a normal and probably successful life in their country should have a chance to gain a new life in a new country. Immigrants can be very useful for the country because they can accept low-paid jobs and which other people who are not immigrants will probably not do. For example, let's use Tajikistan. Most of the people who build buildings in Russia are from Tajikistan, and they're usually like very hardworking and they don't really need a lot of money because their country is very poor. And also, according to the website debate.org, 66% of Americans think that immigration should be, like, America should relax the law about immigration because immigrants, they are very helpful in the country. And some immigrants can become very successful in the country and they even might change something. And that's why we think that wealthy nations should relax the law about immigration.
Okay, let's go back to Team A. You have 1 minute to pose questions to Team A.
I want to ask a question. You said that it's good for the immigrants, but there are also many problems in the wealthy country. What if they can't afford more and there's like they can't afford more for the public service for the immigrants and for the what they have to pay for the citizens? What they should do?
Who can it afford the
The
country?
country.
But if the country is wealthier and they have enough money.
But they still also have problems. What you said about the US, the UK, they have economic problems. They can't afford more.
But immigrants are usually cheap, so we don't really pay them that much money.
They don't pay the tax, but the country has to give them the public service.
No, they can give public service if you don't pay taxes or they're illegal. If they're illegal, they can't get any public services like healthcare or anything.
And yesterday we had a test where an article it was clearly said that immigrants they bring wealth to the country. But
they
also problem.
bring-
Okay, but it brings wealth, okay? Yeah, okay.
The comments and
Okay. Team B, if you'd like to ask questions, Team A, you have 1 minute.
And Sahana, you didn't find more recent newspapers than the one in 2005.
Because the level
That was
now,
10 years ago.
yeah,
9 years ago.
yeah, but still they showed that some of the immigrants still a few years ago, like they're taking the jobs over.
Oh, it was 9 years ago.
I know, but there might be a decrease in that. Still,
Okay? Okay, question 5 and 6.
about all the jokes are following you.
Fala errado.
Okay, let's continue this. Ask you guys to close your laptops, just so you're focusing on
We think that the wealthy nations should not relax the law on immigrants. We have the several reasons. Firstly, because of the immigrants, there will be less job opportunities for the native born citizens. And because the immigrants are willing to take the job with low salary, which will also push the salary down for the citizens. Also, although they have the security, healthcare, and the other public services that government provided to them, but they didn't. Some of them don't pay taxes for these. On the other hand, the immigrants are looking for a better lives, but instead they does the jobs that is with high risk but low salaries, like worker and street cleaner, builder. If they get injured or even die, there is no guarantee for themselves or their family. Second of all, there's also a really high percentage of female immigrants to be forced to be prostitutes. So that I think relax the law on immigration is not a good or safe idea for both nations or immigrants.
Question 6.
So, hello everybody again. Right now I will tell you something about what I want you to think about. Our team is not saying that all immigrants are bad and lazy people and criminals. We just take an average and usually illegal immigrant who is still being an immigrant, if you forget. So, you asked who will clean toilets, clean streets and do all these kind of jobs, if not immigrants. But look outside. Most of homeless people are native citizens and they want to take all these kind of jobs to live normally. But all places already taken by people who are not even supposed to be in their countries. So now it's not really affecting you, but imagine that in the future, if you really need to find a job, you will try to find it, and you probably will want not just to survive, you will want to live normally with enough food, with a good place to live as a native citizen in your own country. So, but owners will obviously take those persons to whom they will pay less money. Usually immigrants are living in kind of vans with lots of other immigrants. It's dirty there, usually, and exactly they need money just to survive. This accident will cause only two things. First is you will obviously not find a job, and you will probably die as a homeless person without money. And second is that immigrants will take money back to their countries, which will be a powerful shot for economy. That is why laws on immigration shouldn't be relaxed.
Thanks, Nikita. Christensen?
Alberto.
Eu vou dirigir.
Hello. Who would want to do manual labor? No one, right? So that's why we need immigrants. Usually immigrants are not looking for high-rank jobs, as you say you are thinking about those illegal immigrants. Usually they become taxi drivers, waitresses, or manual laborers. They look for jobs that do not require high education. And if you say like they take the jobs that some homeless people can take, usually we know that homeless people are alcoholics, for example. Like, or they have other problems and they're lazy and they don't want. But immigrants are hard workers and they want to try hard to stay in the country and not to be kicked out. If we relax the laws on immigration, they will come illegally, and it will just help us to improve economy, because if we let them come illegally, legally, then they will pay taxes, they will become legal citizens, and since we're talking about wealthy nations have enough workspace and they can provide them things like this. And guys, come on, all of us are humans, you know. We should think about others. We shouldn't think just about ourselves. If we think about others, it's gonna help us a lot. More, also morally and intellectually. You know. And you probably like summarize immigrants as the people who are not educated or who are poor. But most of us are immigrants here, and like all of us like spend the money in Switzerland. We help to improve the economy, and there are millions of people like us in the world who are students or like businessmen, like who are working in some companies, and they also pay taxes. So I think they will help to improve the economy much more than they will decrease it. Hello. As you all know, immigrants are human beings who live to live. The cause of immigration is because of the hard time they suffer and face in their country. Who can blame them for wanting to start over? I think everyone deserves a chance to do so. When you accuse immigrants of being criminals, in general, only illegal immigrants commit crime because they have nothing and nothing to lose. If immigration was controlled properly, they would all be legal and won't have illegal immigrants. Therefore, they would unlikely to commit crimes for two reasons. First, they would be afraid to lose their permit. The second reason is because they would have decent jobs, unlike the jobs proposed for illegal immigrants, like prostitution and drug dealing. This is a problem of immigration control, not the immigrants themselves. When you assume that immigrants can damage the economy. This is a false assumption according to a recent British newspaper. This article states that when immigrants join a society, they contribute by paying taxes. Even some do not. In general, they benefit the economy and do not damage it. By saying that immigrants take work away from the native is a very one-sided argument. Because in general, they usually work what the native want or can do. For example, a Swiss teacher is unlikely to teach an American diploma in LAS as well as an American teacher because it is not his culture. And an example of what a native wants to do is a job where he could get paid a low salary, like cooking and cleaning. In Switzerland, generally these jobs done by foreign workers. In conclusion, immigrants benefit the economy as the economy benefits. Immigrants benefit the country as the country benefits them. Thank you.
Okay, let's give minutes to Team A to pose questions to Team B. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let you kind of have a little bit of extra time to ask questions so you can really get into a discussion here. And then we'll finish with questions 7 and 8 on Monday. I think that's what I'm going to do.
That's my question.
Okay, so I'll give you guys 2 minutes and then you guys 2 minutes.
I have a question to Pierre. So, you told that it would help us to think about illegal immigrants. But how is it going to help exactly you if you think about illegal immigrants right now?
It's not gonna help me in maybe I'll get like a maid, and I'm not gonna have to pay this much as I have to pay to the legal citizen.
You will pay to illegal immigrants?
Huh?
You will pay to illegal immigrants?
Like everyone would just go and say,
They go from him so then we can go over.
For the 1 week, the immigrants actually influence the culture and they start speak their own language, don't use our native language and all.
You want to start this debate first in September.
It's about immigrants.
Well, we're saying that we're not just letting mass amounts of immigrants come to the country. We're saying that we want to
But you want
control, not
you
just
want
letting
to relax the law.
Yes, we want to relax the laws. And what
I'll
we're
tell
doing
you
is
why.
no, not more can come. Just they can come legally. Like you don't have mass amounts of numbers trying to kill each other for a space for a new life.
How many schools in China approximately? American schools? Approximately. It would be like 1 million schools, right? 100,000. You didn't know if I was enough for you.
what's your plan?
My point is, Chinese teachers is unlikely to teach it, right? Mostly will be Americans and British.
But
To teach.
these
Good
American
English.
schools not really for Chinese people.
Then why
There's no
can't you-
Chinese students in it.
What?
There's no Chinese
So they are
students.
immigrants.
No, they don't teach English in China.
They teach.
Chinese people.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be better if Americans people, right?
But there's not really American people.
There's no American people in China.
They have, but in the international school, Chinese people don't really go to.
So if Chinese people don't go, who goes there? We're going to the point.
Those kinds of immigrants represent a very small fraction of immigration. I think the debate focuses more on people who are coming for economic reasons. You guys are saying it's a human rights issue. You guys are saying it's an economic issue.
No, it's actually, there's no problem with economics if like people will come legally, they pay taxes. So for example, they relax laws on immigration and like let's say I don't know 100 people in one day come legally, so they get like a home and they started to pay taxes, they're getting a job, like they have like 1 or 2 months just to set up in the country, and they just start to work and pay taxes. The actual bills they coming out. According to Telegraph newspaper, it's a British paper, it says that the truth of immigration actually helps the economy. The most people who are paying taxes in the UK are immigrants, and it actually proves the real economy.
And even when you have a business or you have a school, you don't want to pay a lot for the cleaner and the cooker. And natives won't accept won't accept a low salary for working that job. So it's better for the economy to build businesses with the immigrants. And
I'm
also,
not saying that it's not good for the economics.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Yours just have like more like big problems than like benefits.
No. Name, okay, name them.
We already said about the illegal spirit of the people, so because they were
Yeah, but usually local people are lazy and they don't want to work.
Okay guys, we'll finish on Monday. I won't send the video yet. I'll wait till Monday, so you don't have to do the reflection until Monday night, okay? Go ahead and take your journals. I'll send the video to you after I finish. I'll give you your study guide on Monday to start preparing for the day. Thanks for your arguments. Good job, guys.
myself,
You know how much?
Till Monday.
the island.
Yes,
in the
sir.
Caribbean.
I prefer journal.
And now I'm
You too, Monday. Thanks, guys.
Bravo! Sabia que ele é o único.
Ele mora onde?
Dubai?
Dubai? Você mora?
I live in Dubai, but I was thinking.
Zamiast delegacji ele é migrante.
Você é imigrante.
Bye, sir. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys. Oh gosh, my battery's about to run out.
No, actually, no. Very loud. Very loud.
Yeah, but there's not. It's done now.